Hey everyone, welcome back to another Godzilla battling video, and you know what? Feeling a little generous today, right? I had a few negative videos this week, and a semi-negative stream, making it up to you. Saturday content, rare Saturday content, screenshot this NFT, alright? But, in all seriousness, we have a few days left of the 30% gold savings on level up for all your characters in Battle Line. This goes away on June 21st, 2022. Yes, because June 21st is when the second half of ASB comes out. So, before that happens, you have a 30% deal on levels for all your characters. I've compiled a list of characters that I think you could use that gold on to level them up, and we'll go over them one by one. So, first up on the list, in no particular order, maybe outside of this top two, is Godzilla 1989. Now, if you've been playing the game for any amount of time, I don't really think I need to explain to you Godzilla 1989's deal. He is an amazing tank, and he is an amazing leader. The deal is why he's an amazing leader is you can level him up more reliably than you can level up any of your 4-star leaders. A lot of new players started playing this game because Shin Godzilla came out. Well, you all are probably using Kiryu leader, or Mecha King Ghidorah leader, or even Shin Godzilla leader if you paid for the pass. But I'll tell you this, all those leaders, what is their health? Around 5,000 something? I'll go to my Shin Godzilla. What does he have as a leader at level 10? He has 6,552 health. At level 10, this is a 4-star monster at level 10. A platinum monster at level 10, 6,000. Alright, we'll do 6.5k. A gold monster at 30 has 10,000. 10.3 thousand health at level 30. It is way easier to get gold pieces than it is to get 4-star pieces, and you know what? It takes a while to grind for the gold. It really does. And you can use one of your platinum monsters as your leader until you get Godzilla in 1989 to a reasonable level, maybe like 15 or 20, and then he starts becoming extremely viable. Plus his leader ability to give a 50% damage boost is pretty good, right? So unless your 4-star monsters are in the your 4-star leaders, I should say, are in like the 20 plus range, I would really be using Godzilla 1989 as your leader. Now, he can have a little bit of health. He could have a lot of bit of health. It depends on what level he is. So if you have enough coins to start taking him up in ranks, big recommendation is take Godzilla 1989 up as far as you can take him, because he's going to be an amazing, amazing leader as you work your way into the end game content. Next is Psychic Chorus. Psychic Chorus has had a nerf in recent months. I believe maybe it was 2 months ago that it was nerfed. It used to be the best of the best of the best heals. Now Fire Rodan is probably one of the best heals, but Psychic Chorus, don't knock it off. Very good heals. The fact that you can deploy Psychic Chorus anywhere on the field like Kiryu Mogera is amazing, as opposed to Fire Rodan, which that heal drops wherever he dies. Although it is very good, it is hard to place it properly. So Psychic Chorus, after its nerf, does a lot of good in its early levels and does an amazing amount of healing in its later levels, but kind of right in the middle, around the 10 to 20 range, it's lower than it was before. So if you can get it out of that range and get your Psychic Chorus into 21, 25, 30, that is going to be preferable. That's what you want. If you want quick, fast healing that doesn't rely on where a unit is dying, you can just place it anywhere, Psychic Chorus, phenomenal. I use it in my deck to guarantee evolutions on my Terrestrial, so I can get my Ultima up, on my Batra, my Biolante, whatever, or even at a good push, final stand. If my Ultima is just drilling into the enemy leader, I'm dropping a Psychic Chorus on him. If I know that my opponent can't output enough damage to my Ultima, I'm hitting a Chorus on them right there and guaranteeing I get as much damage as possible out of my push. So I'm a big fan of Psychic Chorus. Big recommendations that gets a level up. Next is Anguirus. Anguirus is a phenomenal tank. I recently, because of this update, took my Anguirus to 30. At level 30, Anguirus has 4,397 health and 822 attack, and he is a 4-cost tank, right? So at 4 cost, he has 4,397 health. Let's see what a level 30 89 has. So at level 30, 89 as a tank has way more damage, and he has 1,000 more health, right? But he also costs 7. For 4, you are getting 4,397 health. Now, in comparison to 89, it doesn't seem like a lot. I promise you it is. In the grand scheme of things, if you can get a Super X, trailing your Anguirus, or Mecha King Ghidorah trailing him, Fire Rodan, Batra, anything to get those units off the backs of your characters for your push, you're doing a great job. Level 30 Anguirus is a phenomenal tank. He performs super well in battle. I was not originally the biggest fan of him post his most recent buff a few months ago. However, I've been brought into the light. Anguirus is a great tank. He's a silver piece. He's very easy to get shards for, and everyone starts off the game with him. He's a unit that you can take from the beginning to the end, no questions asked, right? Anguirus, maybe one of the #1 tanks we have in the game. Very solid unit. Manila. I love Manila. He got a little bit of a nerf a little while ago. Whenever Kamacuras got nerfed, I think Manila also got his nerf. Don't even listen, man. They lowered his health by 100. Manila was already dying in either 1 or 2 hits anyway, and that 100 health that he lost doesn't really make a difference. He's still going to go down in either 1 or 2 hits. But he has very long range, comparable to Super X Ultima, just under Ultima's range, I believe. And it's a slow, or a stun, right? I don't even remember which one it is. It's one of them. It's a stun. So not only do you have a long range stun, he lasts more hits than the M-Boss, right? You might not have your M-Boss or your M-Boss base leveled up. He gets benefits from long range ability bonuses like Jet Jaguar leader ability or Bylante leader ability. And all around, he's always just been a really decent unit, always really good for support. And I recommend him. I use him in my deck. My deck is really long range based. I use Super X, Ultima, and Manila basically as the focal point of all my pushes. And then I use Batra, Bylante, and the Kamacuras to just run defense. So having 3 long range units on my team is incredible. And Manila definitely fits that and gets a little bit of stun in. And that little bit of a stun right there, he got 3-second attack speed. They had to raise his attack speed, but he's still really good. That little stun can buy you just a second, just a second of time to get you a kill that you maybe didn't have. If you want to use the M-Boss, you can, but Manila does not have to get nearly as close as the M-Boss do to stun a unit. So that's why I'm a big fan of Manila. I use him in most of my decks. Alright. This one I was debating maybe not putting on the list, but obviously, one of the best AoEs in the game that isn't a 4-star. I actually, off the top of my head, think he might be one of the only AoEs that isn't a 4-star monster. Basically a guaranteed evolution. And for whatever reason, Toho keeps buffing her. Hetero has only had 1 nerf ever, and that was to raise her cost. Instead of the mature form being 3, she became 4. Otherwise, she's received at a minimum of 3 damage buffs. Right? And then speed buffs as well to make her way more viable. Hetero is a little slow for today's current meta. It's really fast, a lot of damage getting pumped out. I've seen a lot of Heteros since this gold 30% off discount. A lot of them. I love Hetero. It's one of my favorite units in the game. It's one of my favorite Godzilla characters, right? Big proponent of Hetero. If you want some really good DPS AoE, level up Hetero. You can feel comfortable in leveling her up. She's never received a nerf outside of just getting her energy increased by 1. She's been a very stable unit ever since Season 2 of the game. A very reliable piece if you want to level up. You can take him from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. Not a problem. She might drop out of your deck here or there depending on the meta, but Hetero always finds herself working her way back into the game, so big fan of Hetero. But there's still, we have Kamacuras, Super X, Mega Gearus on this list. I got maybe 1 or 2 more pieces that didn't make it into this deck list that I think are also viable. So don't think that these are just the best. This is just as much as I could fit right up here. Alright, Kamacuras. Like I said, if you've been playing the game for a long time, like I said, this was G89, you know Kamacuras. You know what they can do. If you've been playing the game for any amount of time, you know what they can do. If you've been watching my channel, you know how viable they are. Look at these stats. Each of them gets 561 HP, 229 attack, 1.3 seconds for their attack speed. Not crazy numbers, right? But there's 3 of them, and you can drop them for 2 energy. They're amazing to run on defense. As King Caesar's coming down and Mothra Leo's coming down, boom, 2 energy. Drop the Kamacuras, eat up that rush. Not a big deal. Oh, there's a Super X coming your way, there's an Ultima coming your way, and you're trying to protect your units. Bam, 2 energy, and you can block 3 shots for free. Or 3 shots for 2 energy. In my mind, that is a very fair evaluation. If I'm going to drop this 2 energy, and I can block 3 super high-powered shots, maybe even more. Sometimes Super X's aren't even killing my level 30 Kamacuras, right? So, These are the first guys I took to 30. Literally, I think, actually no, maybe Psychic-Chorus was, but these guys were in the first 3 guys I took. Psychic-Chorus, Manila, and Kamacuras were what I took up first. So very sick, very great units, very great on defense. Probably one of the best tanks in the game, because they're not really tanks by definition, with the fact that they're so cheap and they can eat up so much damage. I'm counting them as a tank, man. Kamacuras are great. I run them on interference constantly, and in a push, you know, they fly a little bit under the radar. When you're focused on, oh, I gotta take down the Ultima, I gotta take down the Shinguns, I gotta take down the Batra, you might not notice the Kamacuras coming in on the side and dealing a lot of damage, you know? Any damage is good damage, and to block shots is incredible. These are one of the best units for blocking shots. Veteran players will tell you this from the get-go. There's a lot of people who think they drop off at higher ranks, but they are very usable in very, very, very high levels of play. And they take a lot of skill to kind of master. So, Kamacuras, big ups to them. Next is the Super X. Everyone knows this is one of the most annoying units in the game. Super X kind of dropped off a little bit last season when Mecha King Ghidorah had a 2.1 second attack speed and fire damage boosting him up. But now that Mecha King Ghidorahs have kind of fallen out again, Super X is kind of back. So 823 damage every 2.8 seconds. Super X has the longest attack range in the game. The only unit that comes close to this range is Ultima, and Ultima's isn't as long. Super X can cross-map units. Super X, if it locks on and it turns completely around, it'll hit units from like 1 billion miles away. It's really, really good for covering the field with damage. You want to make sure you're hitting as many units as you can. Super X is going to do that. Super X has an amazing reach. Once you master the placements for Super X, it's phenomenal. The only thing I'm going to say in detriment to Super X is trains are being run a lot this season, which are going to damage them. Only half of the damage rate. The trains will hit twice, and the second bit of damage hits the air. That is going to do some damage to your Super X for sure, especially if yours isn't a high enough level. It could kill it. And then Dimension Tide as well. With Super X, you want to keep it far away from other units, so it can just pick damage off, blah, 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 and then your opponent's going to have to go out of their way to hit it. Dimension Tide is going to pull them into battle. So Dimension Tide and Unmanned Train Bomb, I almost said Ultimate Train Bomb. Those 2 units are posing a problem for Super X this season. However, I still think Super X is incredibly viable and a very strong unit. I use it in my main deck. Finally, in this deck list, but not the last unit we're talking about, Megaguirus. Megaguirus I'm putting in here kind of for the same reason that I'm putting in Hetero. While not a meta unit, Megaguirus has been pretty stable since the start of the game. I actually don't think Megaguirus has ever been buffed or nerfed. Maybe she had gotten buffed once, I don't remember. But Megaguirus is one of the most stable units in all of the game. A phenomenal unit. All around good health, good attack. It's like a flying brawler, so it's going to get right up in the face of most flying units and just start beating the hell out of them. It can take down a King Ghidorahs at level 30, right? You know, not King Ghidorahs at level 30, but Megaguirus at level 30 can start taking down some King Ghidorahs, Mothras, Rodents, whatever. It's just going to go and start brawling, throwing bows right in the air, kicking ass. It's a phenomenal unit. And not to mention on defense, if there's a big push, you can slow. It gives you this huge, I'll show you right here. GD Knight's coming through, you plop Megaguirus down, bam, slow. Amazing. Amazing on defense, right? A great offensive character too. 5 energy, so, you know, there's a lot of 5 and 6, 7 energy cost units in the game that are really, really good. You're going to have to pick and choose where you use Megaguirus, but a lot of players will tell you, and a lot of high-level players will tell you, that you can never go wrong with Megaguirus. While she may not ever be meta, she's a very stable unit to invest in. She's very strong. She's always been very solid. I'm a big fan of Megaguirus. Very underrated unit as well. Alright, next. There are a few other characters that I wanted to take a look at that you should level up. But I'm not looking at any of the 4 stars. Because obviously, if you're getting a piece of a 4-star, you should be leveling that up, you know, while the 30% discount is. I mean, you should just be leveling up your 4 stars regardless. Alright. I mentioned them earlier. Unmanned Train Bomb. Unmanned Train Bomb this season is seeing a resurgence. Not because it got any more damage than it has had, but because it is now 3 energy cost. It is so... For the amount of energy you're paying, you're going to get a lot of damage out. It hits... Mine's low. Mine's only level 14, so I'm getting 244 damage. But at a high level, it's phenomenal, right? And we have all the stats tracked on our stats sheet. If you don't know where it is, I have links to it on my channel, and I have links to it in my Discord as well. But the Unmanned Train Bomb Season 1 of Battleline was meta. It was like one of the best units in the game. It was low cost. I think it might have been 3 costs at the start of the game or 4. I don't really remember. But it was used everywhere so much that it had to get nerfed. And they made it cost like 5 energy. I think it was 5 or 4 for the longest time. And now that it's 3, it's everywhere. It is really good for clearing out swarms, for clearing out anything that might be at low health that you hit in a push and you just need that extra bit of damage. 3 energy, throw that train bomb out there. People are running energy base all the time, right? Train bomb is going to kill the energy bases if you bring it to 30. It's going to be killing facilities like the M-Bob base. A lot of people are using M-Bob base. Train bombs, I never would have said this outside of Season 1 until now. Train bombs are viable again. Level them up, get them to 30. They're going to crank out a lot of damage. The downside, literally the only downside with the train bombs right now is if your opponent is using a lot of flying monsters, the train bombs aren't going to hit the flying monsters for maximum damage. So to get the most out of the trains, you want to hit a ground-based unit. So you can see on the screen the Kamacuras swarm gets hit by the train bombs. The trains colliding does damage, and then the explosion does damage. But the trains colliding doesn't hit flying units. Just that final line of fire hits flying units. So you got to keep that in mind. I've seen a lot of people try to train bomb like my Batra, and it's only doing half the damage. So you got to keep that in mind, that ground units are going to get the full brunt, both attacks. Flying units are only going to get half attacks. And a lot of you new players, if you watch this video all the way in and you're seeing this train bomb, you're probably using a Kiryu leader. When that match comes into overtime and you use the absolute zero cannon on your opponent, that's going to drain 8 energy. If you've saved the 10, you just need 1 more energy to drop a level, 15, 20 train bombs on your opponent and just get that remaining health out of the way. So can also be really good for that. Cheaper than Mogera and cheaper than missiles to get that last lick of damage out. But with that being said, those are all of the units that I think you should be putting your gold into in this event. They're all really solid at high levels. A lot of them are also really solid at low levels too, but I think they're also the most reliable investments this go around, while we still have a few more days to put our gold into characters. So thank you all so much for watching. I will catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.